Good morning. It's Sunday, June 22nd, and this is the latest on the Ukraine war situation. Kiev has called on the West to isolate Moscow after Putin claims all of Ukraine belongs to Russia. Now, we know that's why Putin has been involved in this thing, because he has said all of Ukraine is ours. That's what Putin has said on his territorial ambitions in Ukraine. And Ukraine has been under massive drone strike by Putin, by Russia, on its residential building. And in Odessa, it killed one person and injured 14. Is that the way you want to take a country over after you destroy it? Physically and possibly mentally? Ukraine imposed new sanctions on Russia and on China and on Belarus, companies that were involved in drone production. So we got these companies that are manufacturing drones, and they know full well those drones are going to be used to destroy the Ukraine. Now there ought to be something that stops that. There ought to be a way to stop that kind of thing, but I'm sure that doesn't exist in the mind of the people that manufacture drones. So Russian President Putin said all of Ukraine belonged to Russia. That's a speech he made in St. Petersburg at the International Economic Forum. And he is increasing aggressive official statements about Moscow's final territorial ambitions to Ukraine. Putin's claim was based on the false narrative that is often published by himself as a leader of the Russian propaganda machine, that Russians and Ukrainians are one people. I don't think the Ukrainians believe that. So that is a narrative that Putin has continued to tell people since the beginning of the Ukraine situation. In Putin's rhetoric, that's his justification for its aggression in Ukraine. Ukraine is a part of Russia, he believed. So back in 2021, the Russian leader stoked fears of a larger attack when he wrote and published an essay called The Historical Unity of Russians and Ukrainians. And he made a speech in St. Petersburg where the foreign minister from Ukraine condemned Putin's comments as cynical, saying it showed a complete disregard for U.S. peace effort and disregard for the people of Ukraine. So while the rest of the world and the United States have called for an immediate end to the killing, Russia's top war criminal discusses plans to seize more Ukrainian territory and kill more Ukrainians. And he wrote that on X. Putin made several other statements at the forum, some contradictory, about Moscow's aims in the war going forward. Wherever the foot of a Russian soldier steps, that is Russian land. So Putin is directly implying that Russia's intention to continue occupying more than just 5 Ukrainian regions. And one of the Ukrainians countered that a Russian soldier's Russia's foot brings only death and destruction and devastation. And they have accused Putin of indifference toward his own troops, calling him a mass murderer of his own people. He had already disposed 1 million Russian soldiers in a senseless bloodbath in Ukraine without achieving a single strategic goal. 1 million soldiers, 2 million feet. That's what the minister said. And while Putin is busy sending Russian feet inside other countries, he is bringing Russians inside the country to their knees economically. Because whatever he's doing costing them tons of money. Why can't he just step back, accept the fact that the world is against Russia, assuming its previous size, and pay attention to the economy in his country and bring his country peace and some kind of wealth so that the people can enjoy their lives in Russia, instead of this crazy, mad desire to take over what Russia once was. So why? Why has Putin got this thing in his head? It's obvious. He's a mad dictator, and the world will have to follow him closely and allow him not to do the evil things that he wants to do. So he has intensified some of his attacks on the northeastern border of Ukraine. But do we want this to continue? Why can't we stop this insanity? I can't answer that question. It's in my mind what is known as a shanda, a great Yiddish word. That means it's a disgrace. And the world allows Putin to get away with it. There ought to be some way to put a lot of pressure on Putin and Russia so that he stops these maniacal desires. I don't have an answer to that question. And I think there are many diplomats in the world that don't have an answer to that question. So I leave you with this madness this morning. And I hope you all have a great day. Take care. Bye.